FPL Physio here. I'm currently ranked 413 and this is my Game Week 22 preview. So Game Week 21 did fairly good, 65 points. Don't want to look too much into it, but driven by Krupi points, Thiago points, Anderson with a great 7-pointer and an Arsenal clean sheet. And of course, Haaland also got a solid 6 points. Um, let's dive right into the Game Week 22. I think it's fairly interesting because um, I think most teams could actually just roll, but there are just too many great um, cheap players now available that I think you should definitely look at. So this is my team for now. I'm gonna play the Arsenal defense, of course. Virgil at the back with Anderson away against Leeds. We have Enzo, Foden, Cunha, Szoboszlai, Thiago, and Haaland. So that's how my team stands right now without any transfers. I think that if you look at the this game week, we do have some favorites. Of course, we have Liverpool home against Burnley with a projected XG of almost 2.5, and also Chelsea home against Brentford. But Chelsea has been lagging quite a bit lately, so I don't feel as confident with Chelsea as I did a couple of weeks ago. Um, then we have City away against United, still with a projected expected goals of 1.88, which is quite impressive. Um, Also because United is in complete rambles right now. Arsenal, of course, with the almost the second highest projected clean sheet away against Forest. So it's no, like I don't see it as a game week with really big favorites except for Liverpool home against Burnley, um, and of course Arsenal away against Forest. But other than that, it's quite that down to earth. Now here I'm gonna show you the with a 2 game week horizon. This is from the prediction model that I use. I'll link it in the description. I think it's doing really great. This is a 2 game week horizon with the sorted by all positions. So we have here Haaland on top, of course, together with Foden. Foden is a bit of a doubt. I think his expected minutes isn't as secure as they were a few weeks ago. Also with the buy of Semenyo, Reinders playing more minutes. They have played a lot of games, and it seems like Pep is finally starting to rotate more. So Foden isn't as secure as he was a few weeks ago. Then we have Ekitike, also predicted really high the next 2 game weeks, mainly due to the home against Burnley. Wirtz as well. So there's a reason why I'm showing you this with the 2 game week horizon, but I'll get back to that. Uh, this is also the midfielders and the attackers with an 8 game week horizon. The reason I'm doing the 8 game week horizon is because we might have a blank in game week 31. So there's for now no reason to look further than that. So what you see here is kind of similar to the players I just showed you, but we also have Saka and Bruno in here, and also Watkins has starting to put up some incredible stats, especially Watkins' underlying stats the last 3 or 4 games, I think it is really impressive. His expected minutes has increased quite a lot. And then we have Bruno back from injury. He was back home away against Burnley and got an assist. Now it's Bruno playing home against City and away against Arsenal. So I mean, you could easily argue that that you would probably wait to buy him in for game week 24. Now, very important is that we might have a possible double game week of Arsenal and Wolves, and the reason for that is that Arsenal and Wolves play in, correct me if I'm wrong, but in game week 31. And in if Arsenal succeed against Chelsea, if they win against Chelsea in the Carabao Cup, um, and they have and they'll most likely, I think, be in the top 8 of the Champions League. That means that Arsenal have space in the game week 26 midweek. So the Wolves and Arsenal game from, I think it's game week 31-ish, can be moved to game week 26. That's at least what I read from All About FPL, and also a bit from Ben Crellin. So just important to stack up on Arsenal. If you don't have 3 Arsenal players, I think it's the right time. Also, you could look into Mane and José. Of course, I mean, not a reason to buy them right now, but just have it in mind that especially José, to have at least to have 2 goalkeepers playing 2 games is quite nice. Even though that Wolves and Arsenal play against each other. So I think and for a lot of people, there's 2 different paths here. You could either go with the aggressive or the conservative one. Of course, there's many more paths, but I'm just trying to make it simple here. So the aggressive path, the one that I'm actually contemplating, is to play quite aggressive over the next 2 game weeks. And the reason I'm thinking that is I do have a few transfers. The next 2 game weeks is not like the game weeks that start from game week 24, because at game week 24 we have a fixed churn. So from game week 24, I think if I recall it correct, I think Chelsea have a brilliant fixture path. Crystal Palace also okay. Arsenal is of course constantly okay. But we do have some opportunities here over the next 2 game weeks, and I'm especially thinking about Liverpool assets and Florian Wirtz, maybe Gakpo. So I'm thinking if it's worth it to buy in, for example, Wirtz, Szoboszlai, or Gakpo for a 2-week punt. So my plan here would be that let's say I buy in Wirtz for the next 2 game weeks, and then I would probably rotate him back into Bruno. That do cost some transfers, but I think with an extra wildcard, with an extra free hit, if you do have some free transfers, I would say at least 3, you could go with this more aggressive path. And then I would personally look at Szoboszlai, Gakpo, and Wirtz. Ekitike is of course almost the best. I think he is the best captain choice this game week. But I would look at the Liverpool assets. The more conservative path is where I look quite far ahead. I think this is set at 5 game weeks, and it's just. I think most teams already have a lot of these players. I mean, they do have Haaland, they do have Foden. I've seen a lot of players with Ekitike. A lot of people is buying Enzo now, also a great buy. And Bruno will probably be in a lot of teams very, very soon. So I think that I'm leaning more towards the more aggressive path currently. But I totally get if you're playing the more conservative way, but I want you to think about that. If you do have a lot of transfers, and you do have your wildcard, and you do have your free hit, and you do have your bench boost and all that shit, then you might have a chance of going a bit more aggressive, because what you'll also be able to do from game week 24 is that you'll probably be able to roll quite a bit of times. I mean, if you have 1 or 2 Chelsea players, roll them. Arsenal players, roll. City, probably roll. Then you could you could argue that Bournemouth also have a extremely great run of fixtures. So I think what you should be looking at right now is especially these 6 players here. So we have Tavernier. I think Tavernier is insane buy right now. Um, Bournemouth is hit by injuries. Um, Kluivert is out, which means that Tavernier is most likely on penalties. His underlying stats is amazing. He's insanely cheap. Great buy. I'm contemplating buying him um, instead of Anderson. Tavernier to replace Anderson is great. Tavernier's ceiling is so much higher. They play away against Brighton now, and then they play home against Liverpool, I think it is. Enzo, insane underlying stats. Great fixtures coming up. Just massively underrated and has been for the last few weeks. I've had Enzo for many game weeks, so it's nice to see him finally racking up some points. Enzo, great buy. Wilson, also decent to good underlying stats. Fulham with a medium run of fixtures. I understand if you buy him. Also extremely cheap. Great enabler. Would I go with Wilson or Tavernier right now? I would probably go with Tavernier. Bruno, I think you should already be looking at him now. I am still contemplating buying him for this week, even though it's home against City. Bruno is just Bruno. So many routes to points. Some people argue that his chance of getting DEFCON when playing an attacking midfielder has lowered quite a bit. Simply not true if you look at the historic data. Bruno is just Bruno. Assist, goals, penalty, DEFCON, clean sheets, all that. So Bruno, I understand if people buy Bruno now. I'm still contemplating it. Szoboszlai, great price, probably on penalties. Also a great enabler. Underlying stat pretty decent. Frimpong is back, so I don't think he'll play right back. I do already have Szoboszlai in my team, so but also want to look at. Then we have Kopi. If you want a great enabler in the attack, then Kopi is a great choice. Bournemouth, as I said, also when I talked about Tavernier, has a lot of injuries. Kopi is expected to start-ish this game week. I do already own him also, but he's priced at 4.5. So if you do have to downgrade one of your more expensive attackers to put money in the midfield and the defense, then I think Kopi is a really nice buy. I do know that Bournemouth is rumored to be pretty close to buying a new attacker, but Kopi has also delivered and has scored some goals, and his underlying stats, when you look at compared to the game time he's had is impressively good. So to round this off, this is not one of my best videos, but I could end up with my team and my preferred transfers. But right now, I'm thinking Wirtz in instead of Cunha, and Tavernier in instead of Anderson. Thank you for watching.